What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Finally One podcast. I'm Kelly.
Hey, I'm Natasha. I'm so glad to see you guys today. So, Kelly, how are you? How are you feeling? How are you? The book's out and all that. How are you coping? How do you feel?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm glad the book is out finally. No pun intended. Finally won.
Finally won.
But yeah, I'm glad the book is out. I'm proud of you. You're finally an author.
Thanks.
Proud of you, babe.
Thanks.
We worked really hard on the book. But I'm good. I'm great. Had a great busy couple of weeks within Dallas for the first annual Sports Moms Conference.
Mm-hmm.
That was dope. Then I went to New Orleans for Super Bowl festivities. Was able to host a purple carpet event for Heart of the Champion. Shout out to Dr. Bryant and all of the amazing people I met out there in New Orleans. So it's been busy. It's been fun. I'm enjoying the podcast. I love the feedback we've been getting. I love how we're growing and getting closer to each other and falling deeper in love with you every day. That we do this, and that's the thing that's shocking, like how we're getting closer through this process. And so yeah, I feel good. So how are you feeling?
Glad. I'm good. I'm excited. I am finally an author. I wrote my first book. Probably will be the last. No, I'm just playing. But I feel good. I feel amazing. I feel happy, and I'm glad that we are bonding and getting that closeness and just becoming more and more one with a oneness, I should say. Good. So I feel good. Thanks for asking.
Good stuff.
But we have a question today, and the question is...
So wait, let's let them know what we doing today while you running things. This was a request.
Okay, so someone... Miss Chris said that she wanted me to talk more, to open up and tell about my journey as being single, divorced, after the divorce and everything. So that's what we were... And
she wants you to lead the episode. So she had a question for me and for you.
Okay.
But people want to hear more from you.
Yeah, because you talk too much. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, he just has my back because I'm not a talker. So... I'm gonna try this. I'm trying to step out there. I'm stepping out on the water. But yeah. So the question was
the first one to me or for you?
The first question was to you.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. So she's needing more context on where the mother issues stem from. She says it sounds as though your mother was very present and loving. But she just wants to see where that stemmed from.
Like go deeper?
Right.
Go deeper on where my mother issues came from?
Right.
Yeah. My mom, Robin Cole, who birthed me, she was a very loving and caring person. Is that what she said? She felt like she was loving and caring. She was that. What she wasn't was...
very present and loving.
Yeah, she's very present, very loving. What she wasn't, how did I start that off? Like I said, what she was very present, very loving very caring. But what she wasn't was she wasn't very nurturing. Like she wasn't, how can I say it? She wasn't very affectionate, especially as, I got older. I heard stories. She always talked about how perfectly round my head is, and so she talked about how she used to rub my head and she shaped my head, right? So where the issues came from was I needed that nurturing. My thing is, physical touch, and I feel like at a vital point in my life, we were separated. So right around my sophomore year of high school is when, let me back up. Growing up, I would spend basically my school years with my mom and then summers with my dad. My 6th grade year, my dad just decided, hey, you're not going back to live with your mom. You staying with me. So from 6th grade on, I never lived with my mom again. Okay? So sophomore year of high school in Chicago, my dad comes home. Well, no, my stepmom comes home and say that we are moving she got an offer for us to move to Bristol, Tennessee, right? She said Tennessee, but it was actually Virginia/Tennessee, the whole thing, right? We can pause, our daughter's calling. Go ahead.
You want me to answer?
You can answer.
Okay.
Hey, do you need help in your marriage? Do you need some guidance? Do you need some tools? Do you need some action plans, some steps to becoming one? Well, great news. We created a course called 7 Steps to Becoming One. How we went from teenage parents to married to divorced and then happily married again, and how we got there. We were able to sit down, record this course, share our personal testimony, right? Give you the tools, all right? Provide a lesson, then give you scripture, give you an exercise and activities to help you become one. It was fun creating this, wasn't it,
It
sweetheart?
was very fun creating it. Yep.
Why should they take our course?
What better way? Like, we've been through one marriage and it didn't work. We divorced and now we're back together. So why not let us help you? We're back on this journey again. So, like, yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. So we can help you. Real life stuff. This is not, we didn't create this course to make money. We created this course to help people. We didn't want to do it. We didn't want to write the book. We didn't want to create the course. We didn't want to do any of this. We are simply being obedient to the Father. The course is 8 modules, right? 8 weeks. You can get it done in 7 to 8 weeks, right? Depending on how fast you go, right? And you also get a digital workbook with exercises, resources, lessons, and so much more. All right, so listen, go now. To sign up for the course, go to kellyandnatasha.com. Go check it out in our store. Okay, so my stepmom gets an offer to move here, right? And so she didn't even want to bring it to my dad. She didn't want to tell him about it because she just knew he wasn't going to move and leave his mom in Chicago. But she told him about it. He said, let's go check it out. We came here to visit, and he was like, as soon as we got off the plane, he told my stepmom, call your mom. We're moving, right? And so I remember when he went to, he said, come on, we're going to go talk to your mom. So he took me to my mom's house to tell her that we were moving, and it was the first time I saw my mom emotional about me. So she just cried and said, you just gonna take my son away from me? So I knew my mom loved me, and how she showed her love was through cooking. Like, cooking was her affectionate way of showing love. Like, she loved to prepare meals. She loved to show her love to her family in that way, which is why in the first episode I was on her so much. As like, yo, just cook. I don't care what you cook. I don't care. Like, just cook, which is what my mom did. My mom cooked every day, and we didn't know what she was going to cook, but we had to eat whatever she cooked. So I would tell her, just cook, because I was desiring the love of my mother. You know, I was desiring that level of affection, that level of adoring, right? And there's a part of this I can't share because it's in the book. You're going to have to read the book. And I don't mean it, you know, just trying to do a marketing thing, but I just don't want to say it here. I want you to read it in the book where I actually go deeper in a sense of how I needed my mother. Now, my stepmom, very present. Like I said, she worked a corporate job. She was there. There's many sacrifices she made for me as well. So I was blessed with 2 moms. Same thing, wasn't really affectionate. My stepmother wasn't, but she was there. Both of them was caring there. My stepmom was probably one of the most genuine, loving people I've ever met. Like, and a true representation of a wife and a woman of God. Like, if it wasn't for her being in our house, I don't know that any of us would have eventually, gave our life to Christ and started living a godly life, because she lived it, and before her, I saw her father live it. Like, her father was a man of God. And I seen my stepmother go through so many different things in the household, but she remained a woman of God, remained faithful, and remained true to the word. She, no matter what, she, held it down. So my issues stem from being taken away from my mom not being really affectionate, and then me dealing with some broken pieces of me, and which I share in the actual book. So I hope that answers the question. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Do I need to, go deeper, or? But yeah, my issues stem from that.
Deeper will be in the book. Like,
yeah,
I think you need to, like, you did good with just stopping and you touched on it, but I think you just need to get
I dive really deep in the book. I share deeply where my wounds came from, missing my mom. And looking back, it was like every woman, when I came out on this other side, when I got rebaptized and all of that, looking back, every woman that I was in a relationship with, I tried to make my mother, and it was different pieces that I saw in my mom that I saw in them. Does it make sense? And so, yeah, I go very deep in the book. I don't want to just push the book on you, but if you want a deeper understanding, it's something that I want to share in the book, because in the book I really open up about it, and I talk about what the core of the issue was. Yeah, and there was a period where I didn't feel protected by my mom or my dad. I didn't. I felt protected, quote unquote, by my stepmom. My stepmom was the only one really fighting for my soul and fighting for me to live a righteous life. Like, she really fought for things not happening in the household that were against the word of God, and where left up to anybody else, I could do whatever I want. But she fought for my soul a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this ain't right, telling my dad, hey, he shouldn't be able to do this. And so I appreciate that more as an adult, and having kids of my own and having went through so many different things. I appreciate her for that. Keep her in prayer.
Yes,
we still believe in God for her healing.
Yes.
Still believe in God for her recovering, and ultimately God is in control.
That's right.
But love her.
Just going back, like, I remember how people would just be like, dang, you're his stepmom's child, right? Like, that's your mama, ain't it? Because we were so much of like, I was raised in a church, and just the singing and the long hair, and we were always together, and she fought for our marriage as well. Like, she prayed with me many nights, just, crying out to God with me for our marriage. So just, yes, keep her in our prayers for his stepmom.
Yep.
But yeah, so next we had another question from the same Miss Chris. She says, how did she see things while y'all were in the wilderness? Did she want the divorce? Yeah, that's not important, but I'm not saying it's not important.
The first part. So answer the first part first. Like, answer the second one first. Did you want the divorce?
No, I did not want the divorce. I did not. I always seen in my eyes that, seeing growing up, like I told you, I was in the church. I saw my grandfather and my grandmother with their relationship. They never went through a divorce or anything. So I always thought in my eyes, like, God hates divorce. He does not want this. So I did not want a divorce. I was scared. I was like, nobody else is going to want me. Like, why is he wanting a divorce? So no, I did not want the divorce. But it got just to a point where I was fed up. Like I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't say nothing. I just felt like I wasn't the one. Like I just felt depleted. Like I couldn't do nothing. So I released him. I said, hey, this is what you want. Go ahead. So like that happened, and I tried to stay around, and I was like, well, I'll move out. He was telling me that, he gave me the choice if I wanted to stay in the house or if I wanted to move out. And I was like, I wanted to move out, but I never did really look for anything to move out because I really didn't want to do it, but I knew I did release him. But this one over here, he was just wild and like went and found me an apartment, like, yeah, helped me. No, he didn't even help me move. Like he was out of town.
Yeah, we had a show. That's the only reason I didn't. But keep it a buck. Before I went out of town, I did take you around, buy furniture, and make sure you had all of the things you need and stuff. Be honest.
I'm just saying. You want to have that. You want them to know you did this.
No, the only reason why is because I wanted to be clear. Although my heart wasn't right, quote unquote, according to the Lord, and I wasn't living right, at no point did I abandon you. Like,
no, he didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I still took care of you. I still made sure you were good no matter what. And we talk about it. Like, we didn't even separate our bank accounts.
Right.
So at no point did I ever just leave you stranded. I made sure you was good, but we had a show, or else I would have helped her move. But yeah, she was dragging her feet. She didn't want to go anywhere. So I got a question. So no matter what I've done, whatever, you would have stayed. Like if I would have just kept wilding out, that's a good question.
I mean,
would you have stayed?
Probably, yeah. I would have tried to do something because, like I told you, I never see myself as being divorced or wanting to get divorced. I always thought like once you're in it, there's no turning back. Like you have to do this in God's eyes. You have to do this. But I mean, there is a time and a place for things. So I felt like he would forgive me if I did. So that's another thing why I gave up and was like, hey, I can't do it no more.
You felt like God would forgive you for the divorce?
Yeah.
Here was the other thing. I had another question about the divorce part of it. Yeah, so despite like what you saw, what was it in you that kept that fight of not wanting to leave? Oh, here was my question. I found it. Did you feel like something was wrong with you because of how I was acting?
Yes. I thought it was me, how I looked, how I smelled, I just thought it was me. Like, why, I couldn't understand why he did not want me. Like, I was the one out here that was a virgin. Like, I had not been out here with anybody. I knew him since we were 15 probably. And I'm like, I've never really been with anybody. And like, what is it? Like, why don't you want me? So yeah, I did. It was
a spiritual fight. Before I say go down the road about spiritual fight, I just want to speak to the woman out there who may be going through something similar. Let me be honest with you. It ain't you. It's him. There's some work he needs to do. He needs to heal himself. It don't matter if you did everything that he asked for, you did everything right, it still won't be enough because guess what? He's not enough for himself. Does that make sense? Like he's broken, he needs to heal. He's not in love with himself, so there's no way that he can love you properly. And he doesn't love the Father. If he doesn't love the Father, he doesn't love himself. He doesn't like who he is. And when he looks in the mirror and he's broken and unhealed, it don't matter what you do. Because when I tell you my wife has been genuine, faithful, like all of the things she said from the beginning. She's been a rider from the beginning, right? This is a great transition from what I was about to start saying. It was literally a spiritual attack. The enemy didn't want this, what we have now. It was a spiritual attack when I look at it, looking back now. I had real resentment towards her. Real resentment because I felt trapped. She had this baby, all of these things. I felt like I didn't get to choose, right? And what would be who would make a better choice, me or God? Right? So think about this. I wrote this down, and I've been meditating on this. It's like the enemy has access to give you what you want, but he can't give you what you need. Think about that. The enemy has access, right?
Yeah.
And think about it. I haven't processed this all the way through, but when he took Jesus up to the pinnacle after Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he showed him what? All of the things of the world.
Wow.
And he says, I'll give you all of this if you fall down and worship me, right? Those were things that what are pleasing to the flesh. That's what the enemy has access to give you. The enemy cannot give you what is pleasing to the spirit because he don't have access. Let's marinate on that. I ain't even supposed to be talking all this, but I did want to give the people that. So I was so focused on the flesh, what I can see, right? I was leaning onto my own understanding, how certain things made me feel. And here it was from the moment I met her, 15, 16, whenever it is, God had given me the perfect wife for me. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful he didn't allow the enemy, he loved me so much, he didn't allow the enemy to steal this amazing gift he had given me and didn't allow me to mess it all the way up because it was in a place where it was dead. It was buried. She didn't want anything to do with me. And so I'm grateful for the work that the Lord did on both of us to get us here. All right. So you answered the first question.
Right.
Did you want a divorce? Now, in the wilderness period, right, when we were in the wilderness, me mostly.
No, I was just going to say, why are you taking over again?
I just wanted you to go ahead.
No. But after the divorce, when we were both in the wilderness, as far as me, I had every kind of emotion going on with myself. Like I was sad, I was mad, I was all of it, all of the emotions. But I never turned my back on God. Like I always stayed in church, and I know he's the one that helped me through, but it was hard. It was hard being out there because it felt like everybody was looking at me as like Kelly's wife. Like nobody wanted to talk to me. The one guy I wanted to go after, like he didn't want to do anything with me because I was Kelly's wife. And then just to see him doing all the ratchetness and stuff that he was doing, like it made me mad and wanted me to go out here and wild out. Which I never did. I did some stuff on the internet talking to guys or whatever, but it was hard. And I had to, like, me and my daughter, like, our relationship got stronger because that's all I had was her and my mother. So me and her would spend time together. We would go out to eat. We would talk, hang out. But yeah, it was rough going through the wilderness and knowing that, well, at the time, I didn't know my worth. Like, that's when I found myself because I didn't know who I was. After that divorce, like, everything went crazy. Like, I was like, well, he didn't want me. Nobody's going to want me. So, I started losing my weight, and I was finding myself and loving on God, and got into a relationship. Well, it wasn't really a relationship, but started talking to a guy, and then that's when he came and started pressuring me and telling me that I wasn't doing this, I wasn't going out with this person, all while he was doing his stuff, trying to hold on to me, this girl, and anybody else out there.
Not facts.
Really?
Listen, if you would like for us to come to your church, share our testimony, or come to your next event, do a workshop on our 7 steps to becoming one, we would love to. We would love to share how we went from teenage parents to married to divorced and then happily married to each other again. Sweetheart, tell them how they can get in contact with us.
Yes, reach out to us through email. It's admin@kellyandnatasha.com. That's ADMINKELLY and NATASHA.com.
Yep, and you can also go to the
Oh
website.
yeah, the website is kellyandnatasha.com.
Yep.
Simple.
We would love to help your congregation. We would love to help and be a blessing to your event. So
Yes.
just go now. Go check us out.
Yeah.
Not facts.
That's not facts?
Before you even went on a date with the dude, I told you that, hey, I'm realizing this is what I want. So I tried to reconcile or begin the process. Now, to your defense, my heart hadn't been converted yet. So for her, I understand her stance now being on this side, but that's not the main point I want you to speak on. I want you to speak to when your heart did get hardened, when you didn't want to pray, right? You didn't want to pray, and you were fighting for this independence. It was like the spirit took over her. You agree?
Yeah.
That tried to get her from, like she said, she was still going to church, she was still doing all of the things, but there was a spirit trying to take over her to get her to not even consult with God concerning your future. Will you touch on that?
Yeah, and all of that stemmed from like him being out there. I know he said that he was wanting to get back with me and do the right thing and all that, but it stemmed from him like telling me what I was going to do and how I was going to do it and what I needed to do and all of that. Like that hardened me to like, God, I don't even want to bring that to God. Like it's done. I don't want him. But I still loved him, but I didn't want to take that to God. And I'm like, I am not praying. I am not praying over that because I don't want that. So that's how that stemmed and that overtook me. Like, because I probably was evil. Like I came out and was like, no, I don't want to pray. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say.
Yeah. I wasn't right. I mean, as you should. I wasn't right. My heart still wasn't right. Here I was saying one thing, you know what I'm saying, and my heart being still in a different place. So it wouldn't have worked. It had to play out the way that it did. The pressure didn't start, not that when she started going on the date, the pressure started when I felt like it all slipping away, like my control on her, my control on the like the whole thing. Like I was losing all of the cards and all of the pieces. And so, yeah, there was a pressure and there was an urgency then as well. So
yeah, and he was pushing and it just gave me anxiety. And I'm like, just stop. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't want to hear from you. Like, stop. I wanted to block every number, everything so he could not get to me.
Gotcha. Talk about like you said, the period when you was pursuing a guy who, quote unquote, should have been off limits, especially after he told you he didn't want to talk to you because of who you were.
It still was like, forget that. Like, he told me that meaning Kelly told me he wanted me to be happy. Like, he was out doing his own thing. I'm like, it don't matter with him. Like, it's going to be me and you. Talk to me. But then when he turned me down, it just made me like, no, I want to pursue after this. Like, and I know I shouldn't have been pursuing after it.
Why? Why shouldn't you have?
Because a woman shouldn't have to go out there and pursue. Like, if you are in your place and at the right time, that one's going to see you. Like, all your glory is going to shine. Like, if you are in God's will and that's what is meant for you, then it's going to come to you. But I didn't see it like that. I was just like, no, this person's going to talk to me or somebody's going to talk to me because I'm tired of being out here and he doing anybody and everybody around town, out of town, wherever. So, yeah.
It was the hurt, right? It was how you felt, and like my actions, how it affected your self-esteem. Like it's
Right.
no matter how much I told you you were a wife, it didn't matter because there were some things on the inside of her that I triggered, you know, and so I just wanted to touch on that so we can make that clear. It's like you wanted the attention, you wanted somebody
yeah.
to want you, you wanted, and I don't think like let's help somebody right here. Let's help a young lady. I get it. We're all made of flesh. But listen, when you pursue a man, right? I'm not saying make yourself available. That's two different things.
Right.
Making yourself available versus pursuing how she was pursuing, a man only sees you one way when that happens. You get put into a category, and it's not the category that you want as a wife. And a man will put you, I'm speaking as a man who has come from that side. If there was women that was pursuing me, guess what? They went in a category or they went in a holding spot to when I can get to them or the opportunity present itself for me to knock them down. Never nothing, I never considered it to be anything long term or something that could turn into long term. If they were pursuing me, I felt like they wanted one thing, and that was that one thing that they were going to get. So I'm saying this to try to help you. If you're a woman and you're listening to this, listen, it's one thing to be open and available versus pursuing something. Because being open and being available lets, a man know that, hey, you can be taken out on a date. You can be, you're open to getting to know somebody. But actively pursuing and making sure you being the one reaching out, you're trying, I'm telling you, that puts you in a category and puts you on hold to get hit, especially if he already has a roster. I'm speaking from experience. If he already has a roster, he gonna put you to the side when he can get to you, or it's a position or it's convenient to knock you down. He gonna knock you down, and guess what? Keep moving.
Yeah, and he had to bring that to me, like to tell me that, like basically I was just a number. Like nobody's seen me as the wife. They just saw me as they can hit that and go, and that's so crazy that men can do that, because us women have like the emotional ties. Like I guess I can't say me, but like if you lay down with somebody, like I feel like you've given that person all of that, so like it's hard for you to move on or do anything else. As for a guy, they can hit it and go and don't even think twice about you. And he brought that to my memorization, or not memorization, but brought that to mind, that I'm just a number. Like,
we can
we
hit
was
it.
Disgusting.
Guess what? We can hit it, and we're gonna think about it again when we want to hit it again, right? We're not gonna think about, oh, I should wife that. We're gonna think about, okay, we're gonna think about you again when we want to hit it again and keep you at bay, right? So, and let's be clear. I don't think that the dude that you went on a date with and maybe started to develop something with, I do think maybe he was genuinely interested, right?
Oh yeah.
I do think that. I don't think that you were a number to him, because you said it's funny how everybody looked at you as a number. I don't think that he did.
No, that is true. I don't think that either.
I don't think that he did. But what I do think is it would have been different once you got into a actual relationship. Mm-hmm. You would have realized, just like I did, oh, I still have to do work. Does that make sense? So it wouldn't have been, okay, this is better. No, you still gonna have to do work, right? You still, no matter what relationship you in, you gonna have to do some work. And the work starts on you first, not the person. It starts with you first. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to go deeper, so we help people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that dude would have kept her at bay, and when the opportunity presented itself for him to get it, and then it'll be like, well, I told you, I didn't want nothing else. Speaking from experience, this is what I would do. I told you I didn't want no relationship. I told you what I was looking for, and you still pursue, and I'm telling you. And so that was my out. That was my cop out. But as a man, if I know that this woman ain't my wife, I shouldn't have been laying with him. And that's just being me speaking as a grown man right now. Yeah, the responsibility is on me. So does it feel good that I left my wife uncovered? No, it don't feel good. It's something that I'm healing from daily, and it doesn't feel good that she was out there pursuing and looking and in these places where she wanted attention, she wanted to feel love, she wanted to feel her self-worth and her self-esteem. She felt like something was wrong with her. Nah, that don't feel good.
Like, I wanted to turn heads. Like, I wanted them to stop in their tracks. Like, oh, she is beautiful.
Yeah. Do I feel your cup now? What?
You do. I was just laughing at you.
Nothing, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yes, you fill my cup. Like, every time I walk by, he's like, oh. I'm like, you like what you see?
Yeah. It's important. No man is gonna tell my wife she's more beautiful than I am. She's not gonna leave here with an empty cup. Before she leaves this house, I look at her, I tell her how beautiful she is.
And that's amazing to have that. And because if somebody is out there saying, oh, she's beautiful and will be bold, that's how the vision and everything else creeps in. Like, you gotta do that.
If somebody came along and took my place, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do. Now, before, her cup was empty. Her cup was coughing, but I keep her cup full. Like, I serve my wife, and it has nothing to do with me. And because I know this is my garden, I water my garden. So at any time, I can eat the fruit of my garden. And so, yeah, it's beautiful. Like they describe, the Garden of Eden. This garden God has given me is beautiful, and I tend my garden, and I water my garden, and I take care of my garden. So, and I'm not going to be like Adam and let somebody just be talking to my woman. You can forget about that. I'm not that. I'm crazy. She'll tell you I'm crazy. I ain't playing no games when it comes to this one. And she ain't either, so don't think that she's shy or who's that. She want to know who that is, who is that, what's going on. But as I said, we're open book. I am free. I'm in love. I'm happy. There's nothing that I desire. And I told her this the other day, and we can wrap this up. I love her as she is. If she doesn't change anything, I love her as she is. There's nothing else that I desire, and there's nothing that I wish that she was. Why you look at me like that?
Nothing. I appreciate you, babe.
How did that make you feel?
You came from a long way.
How did that make you feel, hearing that?
Just awesome. Like, who wouldn't? Like, that's amazing. Like, because that never was before. Like,
No. I always wish that you were something
chucking
else.
and jiving, as they say, hiding and...
Yeah. I always wish that you were something or somebody else or could do this or do that. No.
Right.
I am happy with what the Lord has blessed me with, and I don't wish that she was anything or anyone else. I'm grateful.
I appreciate that. Love you. Stop. All right, guys. Yes. Miss Chris, we thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. Like, if you have more questions or if you have comments, but keep those, bad comments to yourself, like me having low esteem.
Yes.
What is it?
Somebody said she had low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
And
like,
she was
really?
brainwashed by religion for even being with me and staying with me. So, but yeah, hey, we appreciate it anyway. So either negative comments, guess what?
God bless you, sis.
They boost our ratings and they give us, more action in the algorithm. But yeah, we got to make some announcements before we get out of here, before we close out. Book is out.
Yes.
Make sure you get the book. Now you can get the book on our website, kellyandnatasha.com. Make sure you go there and you get the book. What else? Oh, what's coming up? Let me see. I'm trying to think. We got book signings coming up. I don't know which ones are coming up yet. Just go to our website. Everything is on our website. Our book signings. We got appearances coming up. We're getting booked. If you want us to come to your church, share our testimony, we do workshops, so on and so forth. Or you want some one-on-one. There is an investment if you want one-on-one coaching with us, you and your spouse. But we are available for that. So just go to our website. There's a form, or you can email us at admin@kellyandnatasha.com.
Hey guys, and if you need prayer as well, let us know. Like, we are here. We will lay prostrate for you as well, like, because we know how it is going through. So, hey, if you want us to just pray for you, let us know.
All right. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Hey guys, just wanted to come to you thanking you for checking out the Finally One podcast.
Listen, this is what we need you to do. We need to grow our following. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Make sure you're sharing these episodes. You don't know what couple that they may help. So subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You don't know who you're going to help. And make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yes, guys. Share. Help us.
Yep. And you don't know who you're going to help. So it's not about us. It's about helping couples,
yeah,
right?
Share. Yeah.
So share, like, subscribe. Help us get our following up.